You set the alarm for 4 a.m. You told yourself tomorrow was different. New routine, no more excuses. This time you meant it. The alarm rang. You opened one eye, hit snooze, and were asleep again before you even knew what you did. By the time you actually woke up, you'd already lost. And the worst part? You spent the rest of the day telling yourself you'd start fresh tomorrow. This isn't a willpower problem. This isn't a discipline problem. This is your brain, working exactly as designed, against everything you're trying to build. Today we're not talking about morning routines or productivity hacks. We're going deeper than that. We're talking about why the version of you that sets the alarm and the version of you that wakes up to it are practically two different people. And the psychology behind why your brain will always choose comfort over progress unless something fundamentally changes. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why you keep failing to lock in, you'll understand why most people never actually do. Here's something nobody talks about. The version of you that sets the 4 a.m. alarm is not the same version of you that has to wake up to it. At night, the part of your brain responsible for planning and long-term thinking is in full control. You're calm, thinking clearly, you can see the bigger picture. Waking up early makes complete sense. The plan feels solid. You feel ready. And here's the psychological twist. Your brain actually releases dopamine just from making the decision. Just from the idea of becoming more disciplined. The plan itself feels like progress. So you go to sleep genuinely believing tomorrow is different. Then 4 a.m. arrives. That part of your brain is barely online. You're running on instinct. And instinct has one priority: conserve energy, seek comfort, avoid pain. The plan you made 8 hours ago means nothing to that version of you. You are not what you decide at night. You are what you do in the morning. And you can't build anything real from a decision you unmake every single day. So you hit snooze. Not because you're weak, because you were never the same person who made that plan. Now let's talk about what's actually happening when you sit down to do something important and end up on your phone 20 minutes later without knowing how you got there. Your brain operates on a reward system. Everything it does, every decision it makes, is filtered through one question. Is this worth the energy? Hard tasks, building something, studying, creating, showing up consistently require sustained mental effort with no immediate reward. Your brain registers that as costly, uncomfortable. And the moment discomfort registers, your brain starts scanning for an exit. The exit is always the same. Your phone, familiar, frictionless, and engineered, deliberately, to give your brain exactly what it's looking for. Instant reward, no effort required. Doom scrolling isn't laziness. It's your brain doing a cost-benefit analysis and choosing the option that pays out immediately. Every notification, every autoplay, every infinite scroll was designed by some of the smartest engineers alive, using the same psychological principles behind slot machines: variable reward, unpredictable dopamine. The brain cannot resist. They don't call it addiction. They call it engagement. And the more you consume, the shorter your attention window becomes. Not as a side effect, as a feature. A distracted mind is a monetizable mind. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people who say they're locked in aren't. They're locked into the feeling of being locked in. And those are two completely different things. Posting about your 4 a.m. alarm is not discipline. A notes app full of goals is not discipline. Watching motivational videos for an hour before you start, that is not discipline. That is dopamine. Cheap, costless dopamine that gives you the feeling of progress without the work of progress. Your brain is smart enough to find the shortcut to the reward without doing the thing that earns it. This is why you can spend an entire day feeling busy, switching between tabs, rearranging your to-do list, reading about productivity, and get to midnight having done nothing that actually moves the needle. Busyness is the most socially acceptable form of procrastination that exists, and the people around you will never call it out, because they're doing the same thing. Think about the most consistent person you know personally, not a celebrity, someone from your actual life. They're probably not the most talented person you know, not the most motivated. They don't post about their routine. They don't talk about locking in. They just show up, quietly, without applause, before results arrive, before anyone is watching. Discipline is not a feeling you wait for. It's a system you build, so the feeling becomes irrelevant. When you have to make the decision to work every single morning, your brain will negotiate every single morning. And some mornings it will win. 2 days become 3 days. 3 days become a week. And the version of you that was going to build something quietly disappears. But when the decision is already made, when the environment is set up so that starting is easier than not starting, the negotiation ends. You don't think about brushing your teeth every morning. You don't motivate yourself to do it. It's already decided. The toothbrush is already there. That's what real discipline looks like. Not white-knuckling through discomfort every day. Removing the decision entirely. Here's the part most people skip past, because it's easier not to hear it. The information in this video is not new. You have heard versions of this before. You nodded along. You may have even shared something like it. And tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off, there is a very real chance you hit snooze anyway. Not because you didn't understand, but because understanding was never the problem. The gap between knowing and doing is where most people live their entire lives. Fully aware of what they should be doing, fully capable of doing it, choosing comfort anyway. The people who actually build something don't have more information than you. They don't feel more motivated than you. They just got tired of being the person who knows and became the person who does. The question is when you get tired enough. For most people, that day never comes. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment. Which version of yourself shows up more? The one who sets the alarm, or the one who hits snooze? I read every single one. You can't unsee what you now know. This is the Unloved Mind, and I'll see you in the next one.